Mr. Kim Wilson, welcome,
Yes, sir.
welcome in Holland. You knew Holland from before, no?
My new home?
No, you knew Holland, the country, where you know in Ospel, Holland,
Yeah.
the Netherlands. You know the Netherlands.
I've played it before.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Famous of the tulips, the cheese, and again. Thank you for taking some time free for Roots time and that we can do this interview.
No problem.
One thing we can be sure of that you must be destined to become a musician, I think,
I was,
because of your family environment.
yeah. Yeah, my dad was a singer, and I wouldn't call it an extremely musical family. You know, my dad was, he ended up quitting show business to support his family. He worked at General Motors, and that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, very 50 years, 60, no more, I think.
Well, I've been playing 50 years.
Yeah, that's why. So
My dad was
70, 80 years ago.
Yeah, I think I started in 68.
68.
Yeah, so 50 years. 50 years this year.
It was your first job position? No?
My first job was in my first job was in 68.
68.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in the world of the blues?
I
Why not jazz or rock or?
I went straight to blues. I just me and my friends would we'd go to, well, people were playing all over my area.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
like George Harmonica Smith, you know, people like Albert Collins. We would go to L.A. and see people like Muddy Waters, and all my friends loved blues.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I started playing. You know, I started playing when I was right after football season.
First, you choose for a guitar, then came the trombone.
That was in Detroit.
That was in Detroit, but finally you choose for the harp.
Yeah.
The harmonica.
Yeah.
Because of the weight, no?
Well, it was
Small
just
things.
it was easy, and there were people in my hometown, Goleta. There was a guy who played, and I followed him around a little bit. There were actually a couple of my friends who played. So
What makes the harp special?
I just liked it. I don't know what it was. You know, I'd already been playing a horn when I was very little, and it just seemed like a great instrument. So I picked it up. But I was also a singer,
Yeah.
and that was important. Singing is more important than anything.
Yeah.
You know.
The most known period of your career was in Texas, in Anton's Club, with the famous Thunderbirds.
Yeah. I left there. I left California in 72. I went to Minneapolis for about a year and a half, played up there, and it was pretty cold.
Was it also for you your best period with the famous Thunderbirds?
The beginning?
Yeah? Or the whole period?
You know, I was young. You know, the best period with the Thunderbirds really is now.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're still playing, that's correct, yeah.
But now it's better than it's ever been. But, you know, and then, yeah, there I am. Yeah.
1986.
Yeah, we started in 74, in October, I think, and still going, you know.
In the small club, you started in Texas.
Well, we didn't play that many places in Texas, really. No, I mean we hung around Austin, and we played a few places, but our big break was, you know, Muddy Waters came down to Texas, and he really liked us, so he spread the word all over. And the first time we went up to the East Coast, the clubs were full, and that was kind of the beginning of it right there.
Like you said, you're doing the thing 50 years, more than 50 years.
Yeah,
Did you change in those years?
I just got better.
But yeah,
You're not supposed to get worse.
that's great to hear. Yeah. And as a singer or a harmonica player, did you change?
Both.
Both.
Oh yeah, change. It just, it just evolves. And of course, what I do is, it just got better. It's the same thing I've always done.
Yeah.
But I had very, very high standards.
Yeah.
You
For
know,
yourself, yeah.
I wanted to be like the masters. I wanted to be like the people I was playing with in the old days.
Do you still learn new things?
Of course, absolutely.
Also from other people, maybe younger people, I don't know.
No, well, not so much from other people, because the people I was learning from, a lot of them were dead in the first place. But what I really learned was how to be a person. From people like Muddy Waters, from people like Jimmy Rogers, Albert Collins, Eddie Taylor.
Yeah.
You know, I played with all of them, and I wanted to be one of them.
Your last solo album, Blues and Boogie,
Yeah,
you brought it out last year. An album with a lot of classic songs.
yeah,
Yeah. That was what you wanted to do.
yeah. It's so easy for me. I went in. First place I went was Nathan James's place.
Yeah.
And he called me up and said, "Come on down here and we'll record." I said, "Okay." And I said, "If I don't like it, I just won't go back." I cut 25 tracks that day.
Yeah. And
That day.
that day, and you call it Volume 1, so
I'm
there
sitting
will be,
I'm sitting on 500 tracks.
Oh. So we can expect Volume 2,
Oh
Volume
yeah.
3. Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah. A few of the musicians on the album are now in your band.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah, Big John,
Yeah.
Billy Flynn,
Billy
of course,
Flynn, Big John, yes, of
Marty
course.
Dodson, Kedar.
Is that the ideal, a good tour band?
I just love the way they play. You
Yeah.
know, I love
Those
these
guys,
guys.
yeah.
I've known them all for a long time, and of course, Richard Ennis passed away. So did Barrelhouse Chuck. God bless them. It was a shame because they really wanted to see this stuff come out, and they didn't live to see it. It was sad.
When you go on internet and you look for Kim Wilson, there are a lot of bands you were guests of. I can name, I think, 100 names. But are there still names or people that you want to play with? No.
I don't know. I don't think so. There's. I've played with just about all of them.
Yeah.
And
That's why I say
the younger guys.
I can name 100 if you want, so that's correct.
I played. The younger guys. I like people with experience. Big John. It was incredible that I met him because he's only in his late 20s, and but he's got a very old soul, and it was I was very impressed in the very beginning with him. Of course, Billy Flynn is probably the best blues guitarist in the world.
He's famous.
He's incredible. And that, so between the two of them, and then with Bob, and Bob is of course, he's a fantastic guitarist, but he plays a little bit of guitar on my record as well.
Yeah. Do you think that there are enough young people to follow up?
For one record?
No, to follow up as a harmonica player. Do you think there are enough young people?
No. There's a couple, but they're not. A lot of the people that are playing right now that I like, I like Rick Estrin.
That's not a young one.
But he's not a kid.
That is not a kid. That's right.
And it's kind of. It's going to be interesting to see how the music goes.
And what do you think that the problem is with the young guys?
They added rock.
Added rock to the...
And what you get when you have blues rock, which is a terrible term, because
It's not blues. It's
snow blues
so rock.
and terrible rock.
And terrible rock.
So I don't really get that term at all, but there's a couple people out there messing around with it, and we'll see what happens with them. You know, I don't think they're quite there yet, but you know, it's just going to be interesting to see, man. I can't. I used to be on my soapbox about this music, and now I just want to have fun and play with the guys I play with.
Yes. Mr. Kim Wilson, what turns you on beside music? Is there life beside music
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, well, I got
you
married
have-
about a year and a
What
half
do-
ago.
What do you do in your free time?
I like to fish, play a little golf, maybe. You know,
The same answer Mr. Nick was yesterday.
It was. You like to fish too,
You
yeah.
like to fish too.
Yeah. I'm an ocean fisherman.
Ocean fishing, you go
Yeah.
for the tune,
Yeah, pretty big.
big ones.
Yeah, big fish.
What are the plans for the near future? You're just for one concert here.
I'm just going to keep recording. You know, like I say, I have so many tracks that I'm going to spend a little while just picking out the next record. You know, because there's some very, very good tracks.
Okay.
You know, a few more originals this next time.
Yeah. I have two last questions. What did you learn about yourself by being a musician?
That's a good question. I just, it really wasn't what I learned about myself. It was what I learned about the people that I learned from.
Learned from
And they were greater than I ever thought they would be. They were great. They were as great as I hoped they would be. Like I say, people like Muddy Waters, you know, people like B.B. King, you know, Buddy Guy. Incredible, generous people. Eddie Taylor. I mean, there's so many of them. I can go on and on. James Cotton.
Yes.
I can go on and on and on. And what I learned about myself was that, you know, Muddy Waters said a lot of fantastic things about me when I was a kid. And luckily, I didn't let it go to my head. Because as great as it sounded to me, him saying those things, he was wrong. Now I just want to be what Muddy Waters thought I was back then. And hopefully I'm on the bottom of that. I can go up from there.
Yeah. I have a last question, Mr. Kim Wilson. How must we remember Mr. Wilson later on in the books? Mr. Kim Wilson,
You know,
a member of that.
he was one of the greats, you know. He stuck to his guns, you know what I mean? He stuck to what he believed in.
Yeah.
And he kept the music going. That's what that is. That's what that new one is. The new one is really my best record of all time, I think. Out of all of them, even the Thunderbirds, it's my best. It's my greatest record.
Okay, I must end this interview, Mr. Goleta Slim. I read somewhere that was your nickname, Goleta?
Goleta Slim, yeah.
Goleta, sorry
Yeah.
for the pronunciation. Thank you again for your time.
It's a pleasure.
There's one thing I'm sure that you made my day today. I was the lucky one who could talk with Mr. Kim Wilson.
Thank you
again.
very much. Thank you.